All right, Anna.
The only thing I would add to that is, what he points out at the very end. If your your popularity numbers are at an all-time low, but you are reelected every time, then what you're doing is working. Because, yeah, this is all about staying in power. This is not about doing what is right for the people. This is not about equity, fairness, or anything like that. It's about power. And
And
we
we
have to
brought this
remember
up.
our politicians are very much in that. Sorry, Pete?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, and the thing is, I've made this point in the past. It's really largely our fault as citizens. Why it's as broken as it is. So remember, this is coming out of they were afraid of having a king, right? King has too much power, so they decided to create a president and the Congress and all the other structures of all, right? And what did the Congress? What role did the Congress play in a monarchy? Well, in a monarchy, the king didn't have a Congress, but he had nobles and dukes and duchesses and all these other people whose job was to sit between the
Defend.
king and the people, right? And the king made sure that the dukes and so forth got rich, right? He'd keep them from having power, but he would make sure they had money and wealth, right? And that's what Congress is. Congress is so big that no one congressperson really has that much power, but they get rich. And they get richer by playing the role of being a buffer. The reason why I say this is on us is because most of us don't want to participate. So when you look at that little part of the video that you showed where they were pointing at the youth, name your group. If you're behaving in this manner, this is why you're being ignored. Like you'll say, well, they're not listening to us anyway, so I'm not gonna participate. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna complain. You're gonna complain very loudly, and you're gonna complain very energetically. But at the end of the day, less than 60, 40, 50, 60% of you are gonna bother coming out to vote. Right? So if I know you're gonna have that type of a drop off, why am I gonna pay attention to you? Right? I can ignore you because you're just making noise. Meanwhile, the smaller group that votes at 100%, I have to pay attention to them because I need them. So that's why I was saying this really comes back to us. And then the thing with the low approval, reelection, once again, that's us. But they created a system to make us as disenchanted as we are, so that we don't bother to participate. So it's like both sides are playing their part to make this thing as pathetic as it really is. So you want better representation, you need to start voting more. And then you need to vote, you need to be more considerate and intentional about who you're voting for. You go in there and vote for the same joker because his name said incumbent. That's how you have a Congress with a 11, 12% approval rating and a 90% re-election. So yeah, we just need to step up and be more accountable for what we do.
All right. Captain Sunshine, greetings, friends. Can't stay on long, but saw you was on. Wanted to say hello, Captain. If you still here, hello. Thank you for coming.
Everything okay, Anna?
LL, impoverished people are disproportionately black, brown, and minority.
It depends on how you slice that pie.
Yeah.
See, obstructed and oppressed people are disproportionately those groups, but impoverished, whole lot of poor white people in America.
Yeah.
Right? But they've been sold a bill of goods. They've been sold no matter how bad it is for you, at least you're not them, right? So that even the lowest white person is considered more than the highest black person. That's our history. But now, in the last, let's say, 40 years thereabouts, it's been disrupted, and now we're seeing the culmination of that, where the poor and lower working class whites are seeing that the American dream was a lie, and they don't know how to react to it. So they're trying to latch on to this dream, the American dream, because it's been sold to them, and they really want it to be true. And so they're scared and they're angry. So they're lashing out. And the most easy thing to lash out at are minorities. But they're seeing right now that the American dream is a lie, and they're trying to find a way to reconcile with that. And unfortunately, this should be a time for people to like, oh, wait a minute, we have overlapping interests. These people are taking advantage of all of us. The reason why I don't have the same opportunities with jobs is because they sent the jobs overseas, or they are pushing automation to the detriment of their workers, or they're making sure that all our tax money goes in, but in the middle of a plague, we got to figure out if we'll let you have a couple $100, right? So it's all smoke and mirrors, but unfortunately, we're in a reactionary phase where it's still white people over here, everybody else over there, but in reality, we're all fighting at the bottom against the exact same power structure.
And let me read these back to back. Yes, but the impoverishment demographic doesn't match population demographic. But then Captain comes back with, I live in white trash trailer parks and we all poor, but it amazes me how many of them are Trump supporters.
Right.
So